Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Lipstick Lip, and I'm coming back to you guys with another love, life, and makeup episode where I just talk about, dating advice, life advice, relationship advice, whatever I feel passionate about at the moment, and I do my makeup at the same time. So if you guys want to know the makeup I'm using, leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. As you can see from the title of the video, I'm going to be going over 10 things that women do that turn men off. This is definitely for females, and I just wanted to give it my point of view from a woman's point of view, just to, I guess, let females know that men aren't tripping all the time. They're not just making up things. Like I feel like we all feel the same way about it. And I'm just going to go down the list. This is going to be a two-part video because I have 10 things, and I feel like 10 things is going to make the video way too long. So I'm going to make a two-part video. You guys can catch the second video when I upload. But until then, I have the first 5 coming here, and I'm just going to start off with number 1. So first thing I have on my list of things that women do that turn men off is have nasty attitude. Now, I'm here to tell you that I swear it's nothing worse than a pretty female with a really, really nasty attitude. And I'm not talking about like the nasty attitude where it's like sometimes you just come off like you're stuck up, but you're really not stuck up. People just perceive you that way. I'm talking about like the nasty attitudes where, like, I know we've all met like that person that always has something nasty to say and just so mean to people and just can't say anything nice out their mouth. I don't know, it's because they're miserable, or you see them, you be like, oh, they're so pretty, then you meet them and you be like, ugh, like your whole perception of them changed, and it's just like, no. So I feel like men like see that a lot, and no, they don't. And I'm not trying to sit here and say like you got to be this perfect image for men or like this perfect angel, but I just feel like being a nice person is beautiful. It's another asset of beauty, and when you just lack that inside and it just comes off like you feeling ugly inside about yourself, about something, some insecurity, and it's just spewing out because you're just being a mean person to everybody else. So I feel like that trait is very bad to have if you're trying to go out for a good man. Like, good men don't want to deal with like people that are mean. Not even just good men. I don't think nobody wants to deal with like a mean person. Like, it's just low spirited. Nobody wants to deal with that. First of all, if you do have that trait, you got to kind of realize that it is you and it's not anybody else, because a lot of times people are really mean and they don't even realize it. You have to make a change and like accept the fact that I am a mean person and then change it. So if you do have that characteristic, just work on change. If people call you like a mean person all the time, you might want to reevaluate yourself. It's just self-help here. If you feel like you're perfectly fine, you don't want to change that about yourself, then hey, do your thing. But I'm just going over things that I know for a fact that could possibly turn a man off and just turn him away from you just because of a nasty attitude. For number 2, I have the crazy female. Now, in my opinion, I feel like at this age, we are like a little bit too old to be like, I'm crazy. That's just my sign. That's just how I am. Like, I feel like we are like way too old to be dealing with that. It's like you have issues. People aren't perfect, and they inconvenience you by the slightest, and you think that it's okay or feasible to go and like do things like bust out windows or illegal things. Bust out windows, slash tires, even fight men. Like, I feel like that is a characteristic flaw, because why do you always want to turn to violence when somebody inconveniences you? Because nobody's going to be perfect. People are going to disappoint you. People are going to do things wrong. They're not going to be honest, but it's not within your hands to like, want to hurt them or do petty things to make sure they get the message, or like the karma thing. You want to pay them back. Like, that's like ugly behavior, and I just feel like we are too old for that. And if somebody is doing something that you don't agree with, or you don't feel like you should be treated, you just remove yourself from them. I don't know if you guys remember that video where that girl, like, she put kerosene or gasoline, she put the gasoline in the guy's car and like tried to light the match and then ended up blowing herself up. I just feel like whatever he did, I'm sure was not worth it. Like, I don't care if he slept with your best friend. I swear it's really not. It's no excuse to be doing illegal things like that, or like going out your way to like make sure you pay somebody back, unless if they go so far as to hurt like somebody you care about, like in a physical way, or like endanger them, then that's something different. But it's just in relationships, when a guy cheats on you or he's talking to another female, or he lied to you, I don't feel like that is reason enough to be doing things like that. Next I have on my list is number 3, and it's the quote, men aren't worth anything, or like the chicks that blame men for everything. If nobody ever told you this before, I'm just going to be the first to tell you. You cannot go through your life blaming other people for things that happen to you in your life and things that keep happening to you, or the relationships that you keep getting yourself into, because it is a natural human instinct to protect your ego, because that's what we want to do. We want to protect our ego. If we feeling like disappointed in things, and it's like our brain wants to tell us it can't be you, it got to be everybody else, because that's just how our brain works. But we're also human to realize that it is sometimes our fault. And if you find yourself keep dating the same kind of guys, sometimes you got to take that step back and like reevaluate yourself. Like, if you're the common denominator in all these situations, then sometimes you got to look at yourself like, what am I doing wrong? So I'm just going to be the first one to tell you that you just don't blame everybody. Every man is not a scumbag, and you cannot go on life thinking that or treating men like that, because you're going to come across a really good man and he's going to be, probably perfect for you, and you just have it in your head or set that, men aren't worth anything, and you treat them accordingly, and you just lose that person. And you don't want to do that. No man wants to be compared to another man, especially I don't like when people do that to me. So I would never do that to anybody else. I get that people do some very scummy things, and you just never know when it's going to be done to you. But I would never prejudge that person and say they're going to do it unless they do it. I just try not to put people in that box until they prove me wrong. Number 4 that I have on my list is overly sexual females. When I say overly sexual, I mean every time you post a picture on social media, you showing your butt. You got to do the turnaround picture, or you half naked on Instagram pictures, or what type of, how good you are with sex and sexual things that you can do. It's going to attract some men, but it's just not going to attract an ideal man. I mean, if that's what you're going for and you're trying to just attract, then cool. But it's just you're going to be bombarded with scumbag men. And like I said before, it's plenty of scumbag men out there. Sometimes you don't even have to put in that much effort to attract these. It's times I'll post a picture of just my face and I'm not even smiling, not even doing anything. And they're just ooh, sexy. You know what I mean? It's really not that hard to attract those type of men. It's really not hard. It takes no effort at all. But if you want to attract a real man, you might want to be different, because it's hundreds of females on social media that's posting the same thing and posting the same pictures, and everybody's the same. You just want to be the different person out the bunch. And I find that men find it very unattractive when the woman that they're seeking, or they want to be their wife, and they want to be, build a family with, is just, turning around showing their butt crack on social media, or just being overly sexual and trying to make it about sex all the time. And then a lot of times females get this perception that men really like sex, and you can really control men with sex. We do things oh, I'm not having sex with you when you do something wrong, or you take away sex as a punishment, or you add sex to try to reel them in. But real men, genuine men, are not like that. They will turn you down real quick, and it's they feel like they are worth something, their penis is worth something, and they will turn you down, especially if they feel like you're hot on the streets. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still men out there, even good men, that probably will give in and just still smash, but that's all you're gonna get out of them. You're really not gonna get anything long lasting. I feel like it's rare that he sees something deep within you and knows you're deeper than that and want to take that time. But a lot of times people don't want to risk that chance of dealing with somebody that could be potentially harmful to them, or harmful to their heart. So I would say just curb that behavior a little bit, just leave a little bit of mystery. Don't post everything on social media, don't post everything completely naked, but every single time you posting a picture and you showing your butt and just throwing thirst traps around, it's just leave a mystery a little bit. I don't know. I feel like I sound old fashioned. You gotta leave something to the. I don't know. I feel old fashioned. Sometimes people have companies where they, they make money based off sex, how sex sells. But I just feel like it's not gonna attract an ideal man. It's really not. I meet a lot of good men, and they don't go for that. They turn the other way. Women who are out there in the sex industry get married and stuff like that. So I'm not saying, but I'm just saying most of the time, in the real world anyway, not the fast life. I'm talking about the real world, everyday world. We working 9 to 5, people like us. All right, for my last and final bullet point for part 1 is number 5, and that is females with baby motives. Now, meeting a guy and specifically only meeting them and dating them or having sex with them because you want a baby is probably the most strangest thing that you could possibly do. I have associates, people that I know of that does that. They just want a baby so bad, and sometimes they go off based on what the guy looked like, and they'll kind of seduce him or try to get him in bed and do all types of tricks just to try to have a baby by him, because they want a baby so bad that it's killing them inside that they need a baby, and they do things like that. That is very unattractive. Men know what you're doing. A lot of times these men they know what you're doing, and scumbags, they don't care. They're gonna smash anything. Even sometimes good men, they'll probably, sometimes they'll probably, you know, go for it just because it's sex or whatever. They can have sex real quick. But they're going to be really cautious with you. They're not going to look at you as like a person that they want to see a future with, because they see what you're doing. It's very obvious, especially the women that are really, really desperate for a baby and they just want a baby so bad. I don't know. That just came to my head, and I know people like this, and I've heard horror stories from friends, male friends that, you know, met women and all they want is babies. And it's just like, what's wrong with you? Like, a baby is something that you have to agree on. You can't, I understand if like you feel like your clock is ticking and you need a baby and you don't have one, but you don't want to bring somebody into a world where one person is only agreeing. I see if the baby happened by accident and it just happened, then you just make that choice, and you know, one parent might not be on board. But when you're specifically going out there seeking out men and like, you know, manipulating them and like trapping them and trying to trap them into you know, having a baby by you, or like doing vindictive things like cutting holes in condoms, or, you know, telling that you're on birth control when you're not, like, that is such a turn off. And like, they see it. It's not really hidden, especially anybody that got sense. And if the guys do fall for it, they don't have any sense. They're probably just dumb. Now you got a baby by a dummy. So I suggest you don't do that. You wait for the right one. You wait to bring your baby in this world with a good father and somebody that's going to be good to you and to your child, and don't bring them in this world on circumstances like that. Plus, that's a turn off. Like, that is such a turn off. That's a turn off. We have to agree on it. If two parents don't agree on a child, then I don't feel like a child should be in the world. That's just my opinion. But moving on to part 2, I'm gonna be working on my eyeshadow on part 2, my eyeshadow and lipstick, and finishing up this look. I just have 5 more to go. And thanks guys for watching. If you have any questions about my foundation that I use, just leave it in the comments below. And until next time, guys, bye.